Large amounts of dangerous chemicals and gases are used in Micronova. For this reason, it is important that you are aware of the correct working methods and how to act in an emergency situation. You can find all important information about Micronova's Cleanroom, including safety issues, in the Micronova Nanofab Cleanroom Guide. In this video, we will introduce Micronova's alarm systems, the procedure in case of a fire, and correct actions to be taken in chemical and other accidents. In addition, we will cover the measures taken during equipment maintenance to ensure safety. But, before we start, remember that a tidy and methodical manner of working is the prerequisite of workplace safety. Bear in mind that someone else will use the same workstation soon after you. Be sure to clean up when you finish. Micronova has been built in 2 phases. For this reason, the building is divided into 2 different fire areas, which are named M1 and M2. The M1 cleanroom is used mostly by VTT and M2 by both VTT, Aalto-University and some companies. Micronova also maintains a 24-hour emergency duty service, the so-called on-call person. The on-call person gladly accepts calls from cleanroom users regarding problems with cleanroom infrastructure and conditions or any safety-related issues. During any emergency, the on-call person is a valuable contact. He will answer the phone at any time, day or night. However, you should be aware that the on-call person is physically present at Micronova only during normal working hours. Emergencies are handled by Micronova's trained rescue team. In case of alarm, the team meets in the control room and takes the necessary actions. The rescue team's duties include first aid, firefighting, response to chemical and gas accidents, and the prevention of chemical accidents and water damage. A recording video surveillance system has been installed in the cleanroom. Video surveillance is used in emergency situations and may also be used to ensure safe working practices. Micronova has extensive fire and toxic gas detector systems installations connected to an automatic alarm system. The control units of these systems are in the control room, which is located next to the entrance to the M2 cleanroom. There are 3 different fire detection systems in the building. In the cleanroom, there is a sampling system which reacts to an increase in particle concentration. The M1 office part has a conventional smoke detection system, and the M2 office part a sprinkler system which reacts to heat. These detection systems are connected to automatic fire extinguishing systems, a water mist system in the cleanroom, and a sprinkler system in the M2 office section and technical area below the cleanroom. The toxic gas detection system monitors the level of dangerous gases in the gas cabinets, gas boxes, and inside the process equipment. If the indicated concentration exceeds a threshold level, the alarm is automatically activated. Depending on the emergency, automatic fire and toxic gas alarms are given in Micronova. You can also manually initiate fire and toxic gas alarms. The chemical alarm is always activated manually and can be heard only inside the cleanroom.
Gas alarm. Please leave the building.
Fire and toxic gas alarms are sounded separately in M1 and M2. Alarms can be heard both in the cleanroom and in the office section. Both alarms start with a siren and are followed by a clear, spoken announcement in both Finnish and English.
Leave the building.
When you hear an alarm, use the nearest emergency exit and leave the building, the cleanroom or office. Help others if necessary. Wait at the assembly point until you're allowed to return to the building. A separate announcement is made to allow you to re-enter the cleanroom. In the cleanroom, there are 4 emergency exits in the M1 part and 4 emergency exits in the M2 part. The assembly points are in front of the M1 Teknikkantie entrance, in front of the M2 main entrance, and in front of stairway D. The locations of the manual buttons for fire, toxic gas and chemical alarms are shown here. When you enter the cleanroom, check and memorise the locations of the alarm buttons so you will be able to find them without delay in an emergency. A hose reel and powder extinguisher can be found in all office sections of Micronova. In the cleanrooms, there are manual carbon dioxide fire extinguishers and smothering blankets in several locations. In addition, there are 2 large 30-kilogram carbon dioxide fire extinguishers and a hose reel in both cleanrooms. If you detect smoke or a fire in the cleanroom, for example in a fume hood or wet bench, activate the fire alarm immediately by pressing the fire alarm button. This alerts the fire department and Micronova's rescue team. Fire vehicles from the City of Espoir's rescue department will arrive at Micronova in a few minutes after the fire alarm was activated. When the fire alarm is sounded, all personnel will leave the cleanroom as instructed. You can yourself extinguish a small fire with a CO2 fire extinguisher. This type of extinguisher is suitable for all types of fire likely in the cleanroom, including plastic, solvents or electrical fires. You can also use a fire blanket to cover a burning vessel inside a fume hood. Remove your plastic gloves first, don't burn yourself. If you activated the fire alarm, go directly to the control room to inform the rescue team of the situation. The rescue team gathers in the control room next to the entrance to the M2 cleanroom and may already be approaching the cleanroom. You can re-enter the cleanroom after having received permission. Most wet benches and fume hoods in the VTT part of the cleanroom are equipped with flame indicators and automatic carbon dioxide extinguishers. When the system detects flames in a solvent tank, for example, it sets off a sound and light alarm, and after a short delay, carbon dioxide extinguishes the fire. At the same time, a fire alarm is sounded in the cleanroom and sent to the Regional Fire Brigade control. The situation is not dangerous because the carbon dioxide is removed very quickly through the ventilation system. Take the same steps as with other fire alarms, that is, leave the cleanroom via the closest emergency exit. Extinguishing can be also started manually by pushing the button on the front panel of the wet bench. The alarm is set off by pressing the button behind the wet bench. When the gas detection system detects a gas leak, a gas alarm is sounded automatically. You will hear the siren and a spoken announcement in Finnish and English. Take the same steps as with a fire alarm. Exit the cleanroom and the building via the nearest emergency exit.
Toxic gas alarm. Please leave the building.
If you detect a dangerous gas leak, for instance in a process equipment, immediately activate the toxic gas alarm by pressing the gas alarm button. Meet the rescue team outside the control room and explain why you activated the alarm. Strong chemical fumes are released into the cleanroom for any reason, activate the chemical alarm manually.
Chemical danger. Please leave the clean room and technical area.
This is the quickest way to evacuate the cleanroom and prevent people from being exposed to the chemical fumes. Chemical alarm is only heard in the cleanroom and the technical areas. When you hear this alarm, leave the cleanroom via emergency exits. If you activated the chemical alarm, inform the rescue team. In the case of a chemical alarm, you do not have to vacate the building, but you must leave the cleanroom or the technical areas. Leave your cleanroom garments outside the entrance and go to the office section to wait for permission to return to the cleanroom. You can re-enter the cleanroom after having received permission. In case of an electrical power failure, the air exhaust fans stop and chemical fumes will start accumulating in the cleanroom. Quickly store your wafers in a safe place and leave the cleanroom through the gowning area. Remove your cleanroom apparel in a normal fashion. After the power cut is finished, it will take some time before the cleanroom conditions have stabilised and it is safe to return to the cleanroom. The on-call person will immediately inform us with a voice announcement and through email when the cleanroom is available. Some equipment in the cleanroom may not be usable immediately after a power cut, but may require additional actions. Refer to the user manuals or ask the main users or maintenance engineers for assistance. To enter the cleanroom, you must wear correct cleanroom garments, including overalls, booties and face mask. In addition, for the users of Aalto's cleanroom, it is obligatory to wear protective goggles. For handling acids and bases, you must wear so-called full protection, which includes face shield, apron and thick chemical gloves. Protective equipment can be found in the central corridor of M1. In M2, they are located in the service bays. In spite of the protective equipment, in case of an accident you may be exposed to chemicals. For this reason, emergency showers and eye wash stations are available in all areas where chemicals are handled. You must attend a chemical training course before you can use solvents, acids and bases. You should also remember that you are not allowed to work with chemicals when you are alone. Particularly outside normal working hours and during weekends, you must have a lab buddy present. The lab buddy is another cleanroom user who agrees to stay nearby as long as your work requires. Chemicals are stored in dedicated storage cabinets. Solvents and acids are always stored in separate cabinets because their mixtures can be dangerously reactive. Working safely with chemicals requires you to be deliberate and careful. Always check the label of the chemical bottle carefully to make sure it is the correct one. When you return the bottle, make sure that it goes to the correct cabinet and shelf. For emergencies, it is advisable that you add Micronova's on-call person's phone number in your phone's address book. If you spill any chemical on the floor, you must decide whether you need assistance or if you can handle the situation by yourself. If you need help, call Nanofab's on-call person. If there is only a small amount of chemical on the floor and it is not leaked through the holes to the concrete floor, you can clean up the spill yourself. First, make sure that nobody can walk into the spill. Either mark the spill clearly or ask a co-worker to guard it. You can find absorption cloths in the north corridor of the M1 cleanroom and in 2 locations on the service corridor of the M2 cleanroom. Use them to clean up the spill. Place the used cloths in a plastic bag, mark it clearly and discard it in the special rubbish bin. If the chemical has leaked through the perforated floor to the concrete floor, call Nanofab's on-call person. Tell him your name and inform him of what has happened and where. The number of the cleanroom bay is marked on the sign on the wall. The on-call person will make sure that the rescue team cleans up the chemical on the floor and beneath it. Acid and solvent fumes spread quickly via the air conditioning system to other parts of the cleanroom. Decide if it is necessary to inform other people working in the cleanroom. If you have the slightest suspicion that it might be necessary to raise an alarm, activate the alarm by pressing the chemical alarm button. This enables the others working in the cleanroom to exit safely using the emergency exits. The person who activated the alarm must inform Nanofab's on-call person. If you wear correct personal protective equipment, you are quite well protected against chemical splashes. However, your feet are not protected. Any spill can easily run down the apron, ending up on your feet. If you have spilled acid or another corrosive chemical on yourself, call for help. At the same time, quickly remove all clothes contaminated by the acid. If your clothes are badly contaminated, the helper can cut them off from the clean side. Scissors for this purpose are available at the eye wash stations. Go to the emergency shower. Pull the shower handle, and when you have removed all contaminated clothing, rinse your skin for at least 5 to 10 minutes. Don't think about where you are or who can see you. The most important thing is to save your skin. If the chemical you have spilt is hydrofluoric acid, rinse with water for at least 10 minutes, then start rubbing calcium gluconate on the affected part of the skin. The gel can be found next to the eye wash basins and in the first aid cabinets in the cleanroom. Diluted hydrofluoric acid does not burn skin or corrode fabric, but it absorbs slowly through the skin and tissue and reacts with bone. This can take several hours. Therefore, it is important that you are always aware of which acids you are handling and rinse your skin if hydrofluoric acid spills are at all possible, and even in cases where you believe that the spills were only water. If the spill gets into your eye, use the eye shower and rinse your eye for at least 5 minutes. After rinsing, apply calcium gluconate eye drops. Calcium gluconate ampoules can be found next to the eye wash showers in the cleanroom. If you hear someone shouting for help, go immediately to check the situation. Ask what happened, report the accident to Nanofab's on-call person who will alert the rescue team. If the injured person is in serious danger, first call the emergency number 112. Give your name and the address. Micronova, Tietätie 3, Espoo. Micronova, Tietätie 3, Espoo. If you are working outside normal working hours, Micronova's entrances will be locked and emergency personnel cannot enter the building. You'll have to open the door for them. The on-call person can also arrange the 24-hour security centre of VTT to open the doors. If necessary, activate the chemical alarm by pressing the chemical alarm button. Take care of the injured person and ensure that he is taken from the cleanroom into fresh air quickly enough. You can wrap the smothering blanket found next to the emergency shower around the victim temporarily. You can continue rinsing with water even outside the cleanroom. Temporary clothing is available in the gowning area and also in the first aid room. If hydrofluoric acid was spilt, or if any other chemical comes into contact with eyes, then the injured person must always be taken to a doctor. Regardless of the acid or base, you must go to the doctor if the area exposed to the chemical is large or a burn has already formed on the skin where it came into contact with the acid. The assisting person takes the material safety data sheet for the chemical and gives it to the medical personnel in the accident and emergency department. You can find the material safety data sheets on the shelves outside the M2 cleanroom entrance. If necessary, continue providing first aid during the drive to the hospital, for example, rinsing out the patient's eye or using calcium gluconate eye drops. As the assisting person, you must not leave the patient until you can be absolutely sure that he is getting proper treatment. Micronova's first aid room is located in the lobby near the entrance to the M2 cleanroom. There you can find useful equipment for emergencies, including stretchers and temporary clothing. There is also an automatic defibrillator outside the first aid room. The defibrillator is used as first aid for life-threatening cardiac arrhythmias which can lead to cardiac arrest. The automated defibrillator can be used by untrained people as it gives clear instructions and is very difficult to misuse. If you are not familiar with this life-saving device, take a moment to study it. Excellent material is available on YouTube. Our goal is to have 0 accidents in Micronova. To achieve this, it is important that you report any potential safety issues, including near-miss and dangerous situations. Immediately inform Nanofab's personnel and they will help you to fill in the appropriate report form if necessary. Nanofab's safety team is responsible for any corrective and preventive measures. Most of Micronova's process equipment is installed through the cleanroom partition wall. Thus, the equipment is used from the clean bay side and the maintenance takes place in the service chase. In order to ensure safety, the use of faulty equipment or equipment under maintenance is strictly forbidden. In order to prevent use, these tools are labelled with an out-of-use sign. If you notice a fault in a process tool that prevents its appropriate or safe use, disable it by attaching the out-of-use sign to it. The sign can be removed by an authorised person. Log the equipment fault in the PESO database. Many process tools use dangerous gases or chemicals such as hydrogen chloride, silane, phosphine, and arsine. Incorrect maintenance operations can cause dangerous chemicals to be released into the air, for example while replacing parts connected to the gas lines. For this reason, maintenance work on gas and chemical systems is only to be carried out by persons authorised to perform these tasks. Additionally, Only authorised personnel are permitted to carry out maintenance work on electrical devices. Process tools are equipped with interlocks, which are intended to prevent dangerous situations. For example, opening the cover of a process tool usually prevents it from being used. Overriding these interlocks is strictly prohibited. Below the raised floor of the cleanroom, there is a maintenance space that is used during equipment hookup, house cleaning, and some other operations. Due to the risk of falling, any openings in the floor must be marked with safety cones. More information is available in the Micronova Nanofab Cleanroom Guide, which is given to all new employees. If necessary, you can also obtain a printed copy from Micronova's information desk. You are welcome to work at Micronova in a safe and productive way.